So, with attention, awareness, and ability, we can use fire to transmute, to alchemize, to change intentionally. And if we want to, what are the questions we need to ask? What are the fires or the places we need fire in our lives? How do we know what fires are asking us to pay attention to it, to tend to it, to utilize it? Hey, y'all. It's good to be here today, um, talking to y'all and digging into this unfolding that's coming up for me. I've been thinking a lot about fire, the element fire, and thinking about how fire can do so many things. It can mend, putting together things like soldering. It can burn, transform, alchemize, glass blowing. It can bend. It can clear the air. It can strengthen a sword. It can combine things. It can transmute things. It can also harm things. It can burn. It can destroy. It can even lead to death. And I've been thinking about all these ways that fire can be used. It's something that is sparked intentionally. So what's the difference? What leads to fire being used to alchemize something versus destroy something or harm something? What's the difference between fire being used to bend glass or used to burn down a home? It acts so quickly and it moves in its own way. And the difference really is in the use, the attention, the tending to fire. If the person tending to a fire doesn't pay attention to it, doesn't listen to the fire, doesn't give it the attention it needs and work in combination with the fire, that fire can do whatever it's going to do. Fire thus teaches us that we need to be aware of what we spark and also aware of if we have the ability to tend to it, the ability to give it the attention it requires to do and move in the ways that we want it to. And if we don't have the ability, but we want to spark the fire, we need to make sure we call in the resources we need, the people that we need to allow the fire to be used in the ways that we want it to. And I was reading about ash, right? And reading about how, fire can burn wood and certain types of ash actually makes the ground more fertile. It can be used as a substitute for disinfectant. Even the things that we see as the result or the death of something is just a new form for the regeneration of something. There's so much goodness and knowings in that, knowledge and wisdom in that. So with attention, awareness, and ability, we can use fire to transmute, to alchemize, to change intentionally. And if we want to, what are the questions we need to ask? What are the fires or the places we need fire in our lives? How do we know what fires are asking us to pay attention to it, to tend to it, to utilize it? And how do we lean into our awareness of ourselves and our abilities to know when we need to call in resources? Because almost always we need to call in resources with something that moves so quickly and needs so much attention. It starts with listening for where fire can be a resource in our lives, a resource is in ourselves, in our way, in the way that we feel, are, and be in the world. Where can fire transmute? Where can fire mend? Where can fire clear, transform for us, alchemize for us? We listen for it. And we listen for the ways that we are able to handle it with awareness of being able to call in when we don't necessarily have the ability to tend to it in the ways that we want to. And this is a skill. This is intentional in our lives. In our careers, in our relationships. Fire is an element we should not fear in ourselves, in the real world as well. We can use it. It's there for us. So for this unfolding, I want to do a quick little visualization practice. You can pause the recording and go grab whatever you need to grab to sit, stand, lay down, to use your imagination to tune into fire. So once you're ready, I want you to close your eyes, tune into your breath. And with every inhale, I want you to try and clear your head. So inhale, imagine the air going up into your body, into your mind, and your head. And with every exhale, imagine the air coming out of the boundaries of your skin, of your body, pushing out whatever needs clearing. Breathing, clearing, inhaling, clearing. Now I want you to imagine wood or some material, whatever material you're feeling called to. Imagine the color of the wood, the shape of the wood. Perhaps you're thinking about a fire that you want to craft, spark. Imagine the setting of where the wood is. Really leaning into your imagination. Still breathing. Then I want you to imagine that material sparking a fire, either by you or by natural occurrence. That material starts to transform in the fire. Notice if any emotions are coming up. Notice if your body is speaking or saying anything while you imagine this. Just notice. Imagine the fire taking shape. How big is the fire? What colors are showing up? What, if at all, comes up as what needs to be sparked into flames? Now imagine the fire dying down and leaving ash. You approach the ash and you sift through it, and at the center you find something. What's that thing you find? What has the fire left you? What does it make you think of? What is it that it left you that you needed? Still breathing. Noticing what comes up. Then I want you to see the ash, imagining it decomposing and deepening into the earth, fertilizing the earth with time, seeing budding grass, budding seeds, budding earth arising, growth occurring from that same place. Noticing if anything comes to mind: heart, tummy, body. As you imagine this, what colors come up? What do you sense? And just like we started, taking 3 inhales through the nose, imagining with your exhales that you clear the image from your mind. Maybe you even exhale through the mouth. And finally, you can flutter your eyes open. And now I want you to take all that you noticed from this visualization and reflect on it. Maybe you write it down. Maybe you talk to someone about it. Notice what the work of fire has offered you. And with that, let your unfolding be amazing. And may you be empowered.